What do Skyfall by Adele, Man on the Moon by REM, and Creep by Radiohead all have in common? Well, they all use modal interchange, also called modal modulation. Modal interchange is a very powerful way to add more depth or color into your music. Sometimes you need another flavor other than major or minor in your music, and by borrowing characteristics from the modal scales, you can add an entire new dimension that can add some spice into your music and help maintaining the attention of your listeners. But before we can use modal interchange in our music ourselves, we need to take a quick look at what the modal scales or modes really are. In each key signature, you'll find a major scale and a minor scale. If we're assuming that we're in major, the first degree will be the major scale. In this case, C major. On the sixth degree, we'll find the relative minor. In this case, A minor. We can use every single degree in the major scale to build a scale from. So if we're starting from 1, going to 1 an octave over, we have the major scale, also called the Ionian scale. From the second degree, we get the Dorian mode. From the third degree, we get the Phrygian mode, which is a minor scale with a lowered second. From the fourth degree, we have the Lydian mode, a major scale with a raised fourth. From the fifth degree, we have the Mixolydian mode, which is a major scale with a lowered seventh. From the sixth degree, we have the Aeolian mode, which is the same as a minor scale. And from the seventh degree, we have Locrian, which is kind of an outlier because it's a diminished minor scale, having a diminished fifth between B and F. And this is by far the least used mode. If you don't want to remember what notes are lowered and raised for each scale, you can use a circle of fifths to help you. So here I've made a little overlay with 7 cells, where each cell represents a mode. And all the cells combined include all the notes in any mode. And this red circle also shows you what the key signature of each mode is. So with this overlay, you can move them around to find any mode and any notes within that mode. The major bass modes, Lydian, Ionian, and Mixolydian, are on top, and the minor ones are on the bottom, Dorian, Aeolian, and Phrygian. And the little extra tail is the Locrian. So say you want a B-flat Lydian, you can simply move this figure so that the Lydian cell overlaps the B-flat. Then you'll see you have only one flat for B, and the mode consists of B-flat, C, D, E, F, G, and A. Now imagine you want an F-sharp Dorian. You have the minor F-sharp here. Move the figure over. So you have the F-sharp in the Dorian cell. So here you have the key signature and all the notes in the F-sharp Dorian. F-sharp, E, G-sharp, A, B, C-sharp, D-sharp. So let's look at some examples of music that uses modal interchange. In Adele's Skyfall, we can see an example of using the Dorian mode. And the Dorian mode is also what gives that characteristic James Bond sound. So you can see how it goes from a C minor to the submediant, A flat major, and then it goes to an F major instead of an expected F minor. And the A natural in the F major is the raised sixth of the C Dorian mode. The Dorian mode gives a brighter and more mysterious sound than just the normal minor scale, and is one of the most commonly used modes. The next example is Creep by Radiohead. And this song uses one of the most common modal interchanges that you'll encounter. This song is borrowing from the parallel Aeolian mode or the minor scale. So we start with a C major, and then we go up to a chromatic mediant, which I will make a video about later. And then it goes to F major, which is a subdominant or 4 chord of the key. But then in the next chord, we get an F minor, which is borrowed from the C Aeolian or C minor scale. And it has an A flat, which you will find in C minor and not in C major. Borrowing the 4 chord from Aeolian is extremely common, and it gives a melancholic and longing character in the music. The last example is Man on the Moon by REM. The intro of this song gives a strong Lydian feel with a Lydian major 1 to major 2 vamp. In the example from the intro, you can see how the chords vary from C major to D major. You might argue that this song is in G major, so you have a 4/5 vamp instead of a major 1, major 2. But the intro still gives off a strong Lydian vibe where C feels like home and the G major isn't introduced until later. The Lydian mode gives off a bright and cheery and sometimes heroic feel, and it's very often used in heroic themes in film music. So how can we use the modal scales? Well, there are no hard and fast rules, but there are a few common practices that you should keep in mind. As a general rule, the more raised degrees a mode has, the brighter it sounds. In other words, Lydian sounds brighter than Ionian or Mixolydian, and Mixolydian has the darkest sound of the 3 major modes with its lowered 7th. Likewise, Dorian sound the brightest of the minor modes with its raised 6th, while Phrygian sounds the darkest with its lowered 3rd. And in this case, I'm considering Locrian as a diminished scale rather than a minor scale. So simply put, if you're in major and you want a darker feel, you can simply borrow from one of the modes with lowered notes and vice versa. When you introduce a note that's foreign from the original key, it can easily sound a little jarring. So as a general rule, you will want the note coming before the foreign note to approach the foreign note with as little movement as possible, normally a semitone or a whole tone. In the example of Skyfall, we can see how the A natural is approached by an A flat, and in that way forming a chromatic line from G to A flat to A natural. And this smooths out the transition into the chord containing the Dorian note. You can also use chords that have several notes in common to sneak in a foreign note. In this progression, we start on the minor 6, move into the Lydian major 2, and in this way maintaining 2 of the notes from the previous chord, in this case C and A, while moving a whole tone up from E to the Lydian F sharp, and then move chromatically down from F sharp to F into the 1 chord of C major. Or you can also use cadences that are common in that particular mode. For example, in Phrygian, you have a very characteristic cadence that is used a lot in, for example, Spanish music that goes flat major 3 to flat major 2 to 1. So for example, if you're in C major, you can use this scale to give a strong sense of home on the 1 chord, even though the preceding chords, E flat major and D flat major, have hardly anything in common with the C major scale. When executed properly, it can give your music a whole new dimension and a new character that can really raise it to another level. So I hope you liked the video, and I hope you found this little modal interchange hack to be useful. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below, and if you want to support this channel, please click the like button. So thank you for watching, I'll see you in the next video, and in the meantime you can check out this video right here, where I show you 7 ways you can easily modulate into any key.